What it is! How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about monsters and myths and legends that should be movies, or at least just appreciated in the film space. We're going to talk about all the things from creatures of the night, legends that have been told throughout history, and so much more. So if you want to hear what we have to say, sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hey everyone, welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. We hope you're having a wonderful day, week, month, morning, evening, night. Morning, afternoon, evening. There we go. We are the First Ones to Die, and I'm here with our wonderful co-hosts. I'm Jonathan, by the way. But I'm here with the wonderful co-hosts, Jerome and Alex. How are you doing today? Jerome, how are you doing?
Doing good, chilling. It's been a very busy week. I have been slammed with so much work, but it's okay. I'm still alive, mostly. And just trying to still find time to do my other personal projects and stuff. I've been doing a good bit of writing as of late, working on trying to get a new TV pilot finished that I have an idea of. That it's an idea that I've had for a long time, but I just haven't gotten around to actually putting on paper. Just doing a lot of stuff, especially because I have plenty of time right now. The strike's still going on, so might as well just have some stuff in the back corner, just sitting on the shelf until the dust settles and people come back to the table and actually make some decent negotiations. On the producer side, the writers, I think, gave a very reasonable, hopefully. Although I did just hear news these upcoming few days. First of all, hopefully Billy Porter's okay. That was news this week that he had to sell his house due to the actor strike and just not being able to work. There's news that apparently they've the Marvel visual effects team, a good chunk of the visual effects team, have all agreed to unionize. And I was waiting for that to happen because I'm the second that happens, they're going to be screwed because they've been overworking and underpaying visual effects artists for years, ever since the CG thing has become even more common in blockbusters. And I'm I'm telling you now, they're going to push them. They're going to push them to the point where they're going to want to unionize. And if they do, that's going to be y'all's ass because y'all have to pay them because I don't think Hollywood knows how to make a movie without CG anymore. I'm pretty sure, except for the indie people and anyone working for Blumhouse. And that's only because Blumhouse refuses to give them extra money, so you have to make it practical. Because they make everything for cheap.
They really do. You can tell them the quality of their work most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I mean, sometimes it works out. You get stuff like... Oh, damn it.
I knew it was going to happen when you started going into the...
Damn it, Jerome.
I'm sorry. But sometimes it works out. Sometimes you get movies that still look good, look like they're not made for a ham sandwich budget. But you get a couple that it's nah, you couldn't spare $2 extra, huh? All right, well. But yeah, that's, other than that, everything else has been fine.
Nice. How about you, Alex?
I'm doing good. Just have a lot of random shit on my plate, but nothing too horrible. I'm still dying from the heat. It's the humidity really that kills me around here because I'd rather just be hot than have the humidity so high, and it's driving me bonkers. I hate it. But other than that, I've actually gotten my own writing done recently and made some headway in the book I'm writing, which I'm actually excited about because it's one of those ones I've worked on for years now, and I'm finally getting to the point where it's oh, I might have an ending. Because I've rewritten it I don't know how many times. I don't think it even was the original story that I started with. But that's how it always happens when, you get stories and characters that just evolve over time. We got to go to, me and Jerome came along with, got to go to see an outdoor film, which was really fun. I've only really done that once before, and I was super excited to do it again. It was packed. People were on top of each other, and I talked to our friend Lauren about this. I was like, I think it's because of COVID. I finally got like the respect of my personal bubble, and now people don't respect that space anymore.
Six
So there were
feet.
like people like, yeah, sitting
And
right
COVID's
next to us
rising
when it's like,
too. COVID cases are rising.
oh yeah, I could see that. Somebody put like we had somebody sitting in a chair in our group, and the people next to us literally like inches away started setting it up that way. We're like, you are in front of our like blanket. Like clearly we have like a little zone going on, and you just like invaded that whole zone. Luckily they did move, but it was like people have just like are like screw any social distancing, just screw any distancing at all.
There's
And there
some
were
people that
plenty still like spaces.
they've forgotten that it's like I was actually talking about that with a coworker today, where you're talking about COVID, where people were just like the early days when things finally started kind of getting a little more normal, and people, but some people are still cautious and still wearing their mask, and they were like, "Why are you wearing your mask? Don't you know the pandemic's over?" And it's like, no. In fact, actually, it will never be over because there is no cure. COVID still exists. It's still out here. It may not be as deadly as it was before we had the vaccine, but it's still out here. But I mean,
I actually still wear a mask. If I'm going somewhere, I often wear a mask in the store or even at my place of work. I wear it when I'm out in the crowded area, such as the waiting room, because I do work in a little area by myself. I actually had coworkers ask me, like, why are you still wearing a mask? We don't have to wear those anymore. And a couple times, as soon as they asked me that question, we had a patient just coughing and hacking. And I was like, there you go. That's the reason. And I'm like, I wear it just because it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel a little bit better, some layer of protection. And like so many people at work were like, oh, I'm done, I'm good. And it's like, there are still cases. And then also, why do you want me to breathe on you?
Right.
What is like,
What are you getting out of it?
what are you getting out of it? And then I make the joke because like sometimes people approach it too seriously, and I'm just like, I just want to get on with my day. I say I haven't smiled in like 3 years, and I don't have to start now if I keep the mask on. Because I do work in like with patients and customer service where you have to smile and be kind of, give them a warm, like, yeah, everything's all right. This way I don't have to do it anymore. Nobody sees this half.
There you go.
Especially because the thing about the mask too is that, like, I don't know why America is the one country that is so up in arms about it. About like, it's like, why are you wearing your mask? It's like, oh, that's stupid. You don't need the mask. No, you're we're all vaccinated. No one's sick. And I'm like, because you look at like Japan or China, I think as well. I know it's a big thing in Japan, for sure, but like they respect, working class stuff. Sometimes a little bit too much of a degree, because literally, like, if you're sleeping at your desk, they're like, good, they're getting plenty of work done. It's like, no, that means they're not getting enough rest because they're working too much. They need to go home. But still, they have a respect for the work ethic. And to the point where also, if you're sick, out of respect for other people to be able to continue doing their work, they will wear a mask. Before COVID. This is before all that. That was just a common thing in the culture, which is why a lot you see in the States, some people who are from Japan would wear their mask out of respect for people around them. And it's like in America, they're like, man, screw you. If you get sick, that's on you. And it's like, no, it's actually on you because you knew you were sick and did nothing to prevent getting anybody else sick.
Exactly. And it's not just with COVID, but with like the common cold and things like that. And I've had a coworker come in with just a cold and, don't even try to like cover her mouth sometimes when she coughs. And it's like,
Right.
really, man, this is gross. It's just gross. And it's weird that people want to be right on top of me and stand next to me and want me to breathe on them. I think it's weird. Let me wear my mask. Let me just be me and be happy and just like, I mean, that statement goes for a lot of stuff I am. But yeah, so people need to learn or relearn, not necessarily social distancing, but like respectful distance. You don't need to be 2 inches on top of me. A nice little foot and a half, all I need. But other than that, it was a really nice time. It was fun. We saw one of my favorite movies. See how I'm controlling myself, Jerome, and not saying it.
You'll slip eventually. I know you will.
Probably. But it was still exciting to see, and it was a beautiful night. My hip still hurts, though. I can't sit on the ground. Next time I gotta bring padding or something.
Listen, I'm surprised my back recovered. Or not my back, but my my pelvis, because I was hurting.
Yeah, my hip is still hurting because I kept Well, I kept shifting during the movie. I was like laying on my side, laying on my back, like sitting up. I was like, I could not get comfortable. The ground, it's so hard. I don't know how people can do camping. I want to try camping. I want to do a proper camping, but also, I am nowhere near an outdoorsy person. I am born and raised in the city, live in the city. I can't do nature.
Same.
Nature terrifies me.
See, I don't mind
Absolutely
camping. It's
terrifying.
just the act of doing it. It requires you to like really take some days off, prep, especially when you're camping. Like, because the last time I went camping was in the Boy Scouts, but that's a like curated camp spot. There's plenty of like adults around to watch the kids. It's like a safer environment than when you go camping by yourself as adults. You know what I mean?
I would do it like style. Get a little cabin.
Then you're not
like
camping.
camping.
That's not camping.
I'm in the
That's you
woods.
in a cabin in the woods.
No.
And if anything, that's
we can
more
do that
dangerous
outdoor stuff
than doing regular camping.
Why do I need to be in a tent? Okay, just put me in a cabin, and I get the same experience during the day. It's just when I lay my head, I would have a better experience than the ground with ants and silverfish. That's what I remember about camping as a kid. Silverfish would be all up in and around your tent.
Oh.
That means
And
you
I
didn't get a
hate
good
it.
enough tent, is what that is. Because I've never had that problem.
Then you've never been
Nope, I
proper
don't
camping.
like any of that.
Well, then again, I went
Ooh.
camping in South Carolina, so it's probably a different environment in the woods. Our problem was mainly just how humid it was and how soft the ground was. You had to find a good spot because it was all swampland back in the day. So, like, you got to try and find a good solid spot, and you got to find a spot uphill because if you're down low, you're gonna get flooded. Like, so you got to get a spot.
I had a dream last night for some reason that I was in, I don't know if I was in like my apartment or in a hotel or something, but there was a bear outside my window with another like baby and then the mom. I have no idea why I had that dream. I don't know. If there's a listener who's like a dream analyst, then let me know what that dream means. I had a bear outside my window. What does that mean?
They're steady knocking.
Was it like waiting
hey,
for you, or like
bring the salmon
was it
out?
just
No.
outside?
No, it was like, when you see those videos of like a bear is roaming the neighborhood, and then it looks for food and stuff. It was like that. It wasn't like attacking anybody, but then it went in somebody else's house. And I think I woke up after that, but yeah,
I'm gonna go eat
So
your
you were
neighbors
just
real
nature
quick.
watching in your
I'll
dream?
be alright. And honestly, if a bear walked into
tonight's
another,
stream is he's coming for you.
yeah, I mean,
He's coming for you.
if a bear went into another person's house and I was their neighbor and I saw it, I honestly would be like, and that's the day they ass gonna have to get eat because I'm not gonna call nobody. I don't know who to call, and even if I do, it's gonna take them a minute to get there. You just gonna have to get ate. Okay, make yourself look big. Make yourself look big. That's the only way. See,
Have you ever seen a bear climb up a tree? It's insane. There was this one video I saw. It was like a baby bear too, which is even more terrifying because right behind baby bears are the mama bears, and those are the ones you got to worry about. But the baby bear, within seconds, was up a tree with the people who were in the tree hiding from the bears, and it just came up being like, "What are you guys doing up here? How's it going? Why are we up here? What you guys doing up here?" It was so cute, and then it just like slid down and like went on its little merry way. I was like, I would piss myself if a bear, even a baby bear, came running up the tree I'm in and was just like sitting next to me and being like, "Okay, this is how I die. I get it."
I love how you
But,
made
like-
it sweet. Like the bear isn't just looking at them like, I wish your asses would come down this tree. Me and my mama gonna tear your backsides up like now you've never seen before. Anyway, I'll see y'all
The bear
later.
could have just like yanked them out or something. He literally came up, held onto a tree, looked at them like, "What you guys doing up here? Why are you up
That's
here?"
the
And then
intimidation.
slid
you know?
down.
He's
He's
just there to
a baby
intimidate.
bear.
He wasn't
He's
there
so
to
cute.
eviscerate.
Maybe he was just like trying to get some people skills. He's like, "I see you all have some food. Like,
Right.
we're cool. Give me those food." I just want to try camp. I did have a camping experience. I stayed like one night. I slept there one night and I was like, it's fucking cold. I want to go home. I went home after one night, but I want to try. It gets so cold in nature at nighttime. I think people forget that sometimes. It was free. It wasn't freezing, but it had a nice breeze last night. But like when you're in the woods where there's so much shade and on the ground, it can get so cold so
Mhm.
quickly. And I remember that one night I spent out there, I was like constantly I had to keep putting my face in my sleeping bag to warm up, but then I got a little claustrophobic, so it was just me going in and out of my sleeping bag while the people around me slept peacefully. And here I am, just like my nose is gonna fall off. I'm dying.
You
Oh,
gotta bring
there
those
was. I
thermal
remember.
sleeping bags, like the ones that have the liner in them.
I remember in sixth grade there was, and wow, the topic of the episode has turned to camping. Apparently,
For real.
camping and COVID. In sixth grade, I had this in fifth grade too, but I was at a different school in sixth grade, and we had our like sixth grade retreat where we would go to this camping retreat site. You would have sworn people was getting voted off like Survivor because one kid had left and went home because he was like homesick. He was in my cabin, and then one kid got hit with a rock, so he had to go to the hospital and then go home.
What the hell?
People,
what do you mean
and
hit
we
with
were
a rock? Like
he got hit.
or on
Somebody threw
purpose?
a rock at him?
It was an accident, but he got hit by
I believe
a
that. I
rock.
don't think kids do a lot of things on accident the way they say they do. Like, I understand kids have bad impulse control. Fair enough. You're still learning. Fine. But, like, I feel like a lot of kids are like, it's an accident. No, it wasn't. You and I both know it wasn't. You wanted to see what would happen and the consequences of what would happen. I bet somebody threw a rock at that kid and be like, would I get in trouble or would I just say I was tossing it in the air and it happened?
Right. You would have sworn it was Hunger Games. And we were there for like 3 days. And all that happened.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
They got voted off. Just one. Well, is it? No, it was more Hunger Games. Yeah, because they're like, who goes home first?
Right.
How are you doing, Jonathan? How is your life going?
Good. This week I went to an exhibit on Hollywood Boulevard called Icons of Darkness. And they have a whole bunch of movie memorabilia from horror films, action movies, franchises, and it was really cool. They had a lot of stuff and a lot of like screen used stuff and just stuff from the production as well. It was really cool, and they had some jump scares too, which got us. But it was really fun. And then this morning, I got up bright and early, and at 8 a.m. I went to the Geffen Playhouse, which is a theater out here in LA that where The Inheritance was, the show that I was in last fall. And they were having a prop sale, essentially. Well, it was like a garage, like kind of like a garage sale. So it was all like paid for the items, but they were very cheap prices. And I was like, let me see if I can find something from The Inheritance to get, like as a little keepsake, because they were apparently giving away stuff from the past 10 years, but the majority of the stuff was from this. Yeah, they apparently do this every year, but so the majority of the stuff was from the year of shows from a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if the stuff I got was specifically from The Inheritance, but I'm like 99% sure because in the show, all of the people in the show are basically on stage for the whole entirety of the show. And they're sitting on these pillows on this kind of like bench. It's hard to explain, but they're essentially sitting on these pillows. And so I'm like, let me get one of those pillows. And I found one that I found two that looked like they were the pillows that were used in the show. So I'm 99% sure they were those. And they're pretty flat. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure those are it. I also got some more like couch pillows and this like decorative wall art metal. It's this like unique piece that's gonna look really good on my wall. So and all of that stuff cost me $40. So it was a pretty good deal. Like the pillows, all 4 pillows cost $20, which was a nice.
Are you actually gonna? So are you gonna use them, or are you just gonna like have them set up and be like, "Hey, those are the pillows from Inheritance"?
I'm definitely gonna actually like use them. I'll put my little I'll do a little cleaning just to ensure that everything's, as we are talking about COVID. But yeah, I'm excited with my purchases.
That's fair.
I'll say it on
And
behalf
I
of
trust
all the women out there. That's just like a man. All right. Like, cause I know there's some ladies out there probably like, you're not going to keep, like, those are important pillows. You're supposed to just show them off. You're not supposed to let people sit on those. What's wrong with you?
I was like, yeah, I was actually thinking just have them on display or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But then actually, like, sit on them. Like, keep them on the one chair or couch you don't really sit on. I'm not gonna lie, this was my thought. I was like, certain pillows you just don't. They're just nice to look at.
I was actually.
I would love to go to one of those. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and I kind of like it better than a traditional garage sale. Well, one, because there was a connection there, but also two, because I trust the way a theater is going to handle stuff versus like some random person who's just selling their stuff at a garage sale. I trust where that's coming from more. If
is
that
it
makes
only
sense.
stuff that's from like the theater though, or is it from stuff from like movies, theater, shows, like everything, like different media?
Just stuff that's been used in the shows that have been performed at the Geffen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that would be cool to attend to.
Yeah. Hey, next year when they have their sale, we can. I'll fly down
for the show.
Yes. And they have furniture and stuff. They had furniture and stuff too that was really cheap, which was pretty cool.
That's cool. I need a new chair. Somebody who's a little chubby and orange kind of ruined my chair, the whole side of it. Not naming names, but he's kind of just sleeping down there right now. The only reason I don't get rid of stuff is just I hate all new stuff. It's really hard to get furniture for me. But moving on, or anything else you did this week, or
that was about it. But yeah.
We shall move on to our actual topic that got away from us due to my camping fears.
I don't know if it got away from us as much as it's more just like we haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, camping is such a long discussion too, because there's like so many things that can go wrong with camping. Camping itself can be it has been turned into many, many, many horror movies and
yes,
thrillers
but
and
you know
things
what?
like that.
Jonathan is doomed to the most out of the both of us, because more stuff happens at the cabin in the woods than it does the campsite with tents. So Jonathan is destined.
No, you know what? Like camping in tents, you just have to worry about like whatever chasing you or not. Cabins, like somehow you always find a secret room that has like a whole torture device going on. So now all of a sudden you're in
or
like
just has haunted
a
stuff in it,
mastermind's house,
or the Book of the Dead, or something.
Well, I'll be chilling up in the cabin with axe murderers all day before a bear come and knock on my door to the tent.
All you gotta do is not leave food out. Okay, that's all they need to do.
That's easier said than done. You be cooking those hot dogs.
Bears can
the
open
drinks is
and
flowing.
Stuff. They've gotten used to like humans, yeah.
Also, don't keep it so close to the campsite. You keep the food and stuff away at a separate location. Like,
this is too many parameters.
Going to hike half a mile to get my food.
I didn't say half a mile. I'm talking about you have the section where y'all sleep at. Right next to that, maybe like 5-6 feet away from that is where you eat at. Where the like if there's depending on the campsite.
I assume that's
some places
normal to like eat further away. Because isn't it like that where you eat around like your? We need somebody who actually camps to have this discussion with, and be like, where do you eat? What's your natural setup? But we need somebody who like actually camps
and
to
push
be in this
shove,
argument.
Bring an RV. Keep the food in the RV and have the campsite
and sleep in the
glamping.
RV.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that's glamping now.
No, you don't sleep in the RV, camping. Jonathan. You bring the tents. The RV is just backup in case like the weather conditions are so terrible you can't sleep in the tent.
If I got a perfectly good RV that I brought all this way, I'm using it. Okay, I don't.
I'm actually with Jonathan on that. If there is an RV involved, I'm going to stay in the RV because that's what it's there for. I'm not going to bring an
Right.
RV just to hold the food.
I'll maybe,
It's not. It's also to
I'll
transportation
listen. I'll
and
gaze
bathroom.
at the I'll gaze at the stars. Up until like maybe a good midnight, 1 a.m. After that, I'm going into the RV. All right.
Oh, speaking of which, really quick, tonight, or I guess it has already passed, there's a meteor shower tonight. Around midnight to 5 a.m. is the best time to view it. Hopefully, some viewers got to see it, and we'd love to hear about your experience with it. I might go out and try to find a dark spot to view it, because I love I love space. I think it's so cool. Nature's terrifying. Space is even scarier. But we'll talk about that. We'll get into that phobia later. We'll deal with that phobia later. But hopefully you all got to see some of the meteor shower. Comment, send us, a DM or something. Let us know about your experience and where you guys watched it, because I know it's going to be really visible in Oregon or around Spokane area. So that'll be cool.
Oh, cool.
But
I feel like this episode should be titled camping, but
Camping.
But you know what you can find when you're camping? You can find a lot of mythical creatures. You can find there's a lot of urban legends while you're camping, telling those mythical urban legend stories. And that's the topic of today's episodes. What movies do we think could be made out of myths and different monsters? We've talked about some monsters on the show previously. But now we're going to bring some new ones into the fold and, discuss what those movies might look like if we want to see them in the future, if they haven't been made before. So does anyone have a pressing myth or monster they want to start us off with?
Now, funny enough, I'll tell you this. I feel like this is a follow-up to when we talked about our public domain episode, when we did our public domain discussion Free for All episode, because I am pitching a universe of movies, and I'm calling this the Norse universe. I want a tapestry of movies of the Norse mythology from start to finish. I want to see Thor. I want Thor to get a movie. I want Balder to get a movie. I want to see maybe a prequel with Odin and his adventures before he had kids. All of this leading to the penultimate movie, Ragnarok, when Loki kills Balder, leading to the fall of the gods. I want to see that whole thing as a movie, because I think the Norse gods are likable. Because they only ever pick on each other, unlike the Greek gods who constantly pick on humanity because they can. Yeah. Norse mythology is very much based off of the gods picking on other gods, constantly messing with each other. And I think it would be cool. You could have a lot of drama there with all the different gods and stuff, but also you could teach some people some stuff. If you do it right and you do it like it's actually the legit Norse mythology, because it's already dramatic enough. You don't need to add anything else. Granted, I don't think it's very PC, probably, but I feel like we could make those minor changes to make that work. The main thing is, as long as the story structure is still the same, the betrayals still happen, the battles still happen, all that good stuff. Like Thor versus...
I think also Norse mythology is also less incesty than Greek mythology.
True.
It is a lot less. That's actually a pretty good idea, because I've seen a couple people talk about how Marvel has just ruined Norse mythology for a lot of people.
To be fair, that's not their fault. That's the comic book. The Thor comic books do not follow the Norse mythology pretty closely at all. They just take ideas
I said
from
Marvel.
it.
I said Marvel.
I thought you were mentioning the movies.
I know, yeah, the movies probably have made it worse over time. Mm-hmm. But that would be a pretty good idea, because I've heard some people complain about how Marvel has just, taken Thor, warped it into what they want, and same with Loki. But these stories do get a lot more interesting, and like I said, a lot less incesty. So it's kind of nice to read about them instead. I didn't know they picked on other gods. I don't think I read that about that.
It's mostly Loki. picking on other gods often. But there's also some other drama, like giants, for example. There's a lot of giants in the stories of Norse mythology that often have beef with certain gods. Like Jormungandr, the world serpent, has just constant beef with Thor. In fact, Thor's kind of a jerk in Norse mythology. He's not like the nicest person, but at the same time, it's like it being Norse mythology, it's all about honor and battle and all that stuff. So in a lot of ways, Thor isn't considered like that bad of a person, though. Like, but again, it's like it's based off of that culture, and I think that's the cool thing about it too, is you could really dive into Viking culture. And you look at like God of War is doing really well, playing around with Norse mythology. The show is doing really well, just opening up that like culture to a bunch of people.
Titles.
Yeah. Well, God of War is a video game. That one we could avoid, but
God of War is fine. The other one, yeah.
Yeah, the other one, my bad. But you know, it's a thing. It's Norse mythology and Norse culture starting to become a lot more popular. So I think it could be something cool to see. And plus, if you did the whole thing all the way up leading up to Ragnarok, after Ragnarok is when I'd be like, okay, that's it. We're done. It's finished. Gods are dead. I think they come back somehow. But yeah, that's it. It's over.
It's funny that you mentioned like the Ragnarok in the end, because one of the creatures I had chosen was actually a Aztecian or a Mayan deity called Quetzalcoatl. It is basically a giant serpent, and I think he's really cool. He's one of the main deities on the Mayan calendar. He's on the sixth sun at the end, and I think he's just cool because he's supposed to come from the earth and just like devour everything. I think that would be a terrifying concept of like a cool horror film. And I know there's like horror films done about like the Mayan calendar and how it ended at 2021, but they were all about how like the earth was collapsing or like this and that. I want to see the actual monsters that were portrayed on the Mayan calendar. They're the things like the old gods, you could call it, coming to basically end the world. I think that would be a cooler concept other than like our gas stopped working, our water stopped working, and suddenly we all turn into crazed, uncivilized people. It's like, you need to all calm down for a second. I think the old gods or the old serpents or things like that would be a much cooler concept to end the world. And we get to actually see the giant serpents. What about you, Jonathan? You got one? Do you have any old gods?
It's not on the god side of things. But I feel like there actually should be more stuff made about like gods in general. I feel like the stuff we've gotten has not either been good or has not been like mainstream, you know, where you have a big star at the helm of it and it's just about this one person or this one god. But the first one, I guess, that's on my list would probably be taking it back to sixth grade again. I did a project. We were supposed to do projects on like myths and urban legends and stuff like that. And my project was on the one and only Loch Ness Monster. I remember diving into that story. I was so invested in it. The fact that, you know, people have these theories about what it might be, that it was like either a movie prop, that it was like a boat or something. Yeah, I just really enjoy the story of the Loch Ness Monster. And I think that should be made into like an actual thing. I think it probably has, but something that's like, I want an epic adventure story that's released in IMAX, that stars like, you could even give me Chris Pratt at this point. And just
it's in Scotland. They get a Scottish person. David Tennant, he's Scottish.
There we go. Hey, Chris.
I think
wait, I was going to mention.
No, don't do no.
Yes.
Just no to everything all above. I think they're actually starting to look for the Loch Ness Monster again. I think there's an actual like search starting for it, or I think they think the Loch Ness Monster is a girl. I think they're searching for her again, and I was like, that's cool. That's weird. That's a weird thing to start Let's just pick it up again. It dropped for like 40 years, but we're gonna go for looking for the Loch Ness monster again. All they have to do is use sonar. I guess they have better technology now. They could do sonar. I feel like it's hard to track something that swims around. I wonder what. Do
Yeah.
you know what the Loch Ness monster is supposed to be? Is it like an amphibian?
It's like a dinosaur, like an amphibious
Yeah,
dinosaur.
like
Because it only has fins. It can only swim. It can't like go onto land.
right. And apparently, I just like looked at it. The first photograph or whatever of the Loch Ness monster is now known to have been a hoax, according to what I just quickly Googled.
Yeah, of course it is.
Is it that black and white one, the famous one?
Mm-hmm.
That was also, I never knew this. It's a zoomed in photo. The really famous one of the Loch Ness monster, it's zoomed in. That's why it looks so grainy. And they somebody showed oh no, it's really close up. But here's actually what the whole photo looks like. It's like, oh, that absolutely looks like a log or something. The distance is like this different. So
apparently in 2021, it was reported that a 20-foot creature was captured on live stream near the loch.
That wouldn't be the original Loch Ness monster. That'd probably be its babies. Which
That's
means
true.
there's got to be more. There's got to be more than one Loch Ness monster.
Oh, yeah. Would the movie be about the search of the Loch Ness monster or the Loch Ness monster itself living its life?
I bet Disney could make a story about the Loch Ness monster living its life.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, these are my children. Oh no, here come people invading my home. I think I would like it as somebody finally finds it, but I feel like it would end up turning into that I found the creature, but really I found myself. And then they release it, and then they keep it, and they're like, I'm never telling anybody about it. So I feel like that's how the movie will always end, is I found it, and I found myself. Very Moby Dick. I think about that with mythical creatures like that, like the Loch Ness monster and stuff like that. It's been generations to generations, decades upon decades. So that means either it's living to in its hundreds, which is possible. There are turtles that live that long, or there's more than one, and they're having children.
I like this idea that I'm reading where it says apparently I was looking at an article that literally says 30 mythical creatures and where to find them, and by each name is a little cute set of emojis. They're supposed to represent whatever the monster is. This one for golems, or golems, however you want to pronounce it, says in Jewish folklore, the golem is an automaton made of clay, an early magical robot who is said to protect or terrorize people, depending on who you ask. The most famous variation is the Golem of Prague, which was created to protect the Jewish ghettos from the wrath of the Holy Roman Empire. And while that is a fun movie in and of itself, I would love to see, or not fun, but an interesting movie in and of itself. I would love to see Seth Rogen or Judd Apatow style comedy of a golem protecting this young Jewish boy from his bullies in a religious school or something. He makes a golem, and it becomes like a Marley and Me type situation, but with this clay golem running around causing havoc and destruction.
I would die of laughter if I saw a creature made out of clay do the Seth Rogen laugh. I think that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Right? Just a giant creature made of clay ready to kill somebody, and it just does a ha ha. I can't even do his laugh. I can't even mimic it. But I think that would be awesome to hear him.
Just Jewish
laugh
grandpa,
like
just let me get this straight. You made a golem, and he's coming out of out of your school. He's out here bullying all the other kids. What's wrong with you? Here, say your Hail Marys. I don't know anything about Jewish culture. I'm sorry to all the Jewish fans out there. I know I need to learn more.
Well, they definitely don't say Hail Marys. That's
that's
so
Catholic. That's a different.
Yeah, that's literally across the board style going on.
Alex, do you have it? Do you have one?
I don't know. I do have a few. I want a new one of Mothman.
Mothman?
Because there are so many Mothman in, I think it's Massachusetts. Does he come from Massachusetts? Because there was a movie made back, I don't recall anymore. But there are still so many stories to Mothman, and I think there's been like low budget ones. I want to hear more about his story and his myth and
There's a
maybe his like
festival
era.
and museum.
Yeah.
Mothman.
Dude, take a look at the statue for Mothman, both of you. He's made out of steel. They gave him like an ass. And I'm not even joking. Like it's
Which one? Because I'm looking at the Mothman Museum, and
no. There's a
That's-
Mothman statue. Google that, and then they like had no reason to give him as big of a butt as they did. There was absolutely no reason for that. But I think a story, a more centric focus on the actual monster. I think that's what
I don't
a lot
see
of
any
the
views
movies.
from. I only see views from the front.
yeah, I can't see
Uh,
any views from the back. It's only
You
from
have
the
to be
front.
confident.
Mothman.
Okay, wait. Here's one from the side.
Also, you need to clarify because Mothman, like I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about, but I'm saying you need to clarify for audio listeners because there is a Batman villain called Mothman. Literally,
The
when you
myth
type
and the
Mothman,
legend.
that's the first thing that pops up is Batman's Mothman.
Okay. I want to know. Well, the thing about like a lot of monsters and myths and legend movies, they're centered around like the humans. And humans suck. They really do. I want to learn about the actual like creature. I think a story from following their point of view. Yeah, where like they're on my property again. All right. So they have to be sacrificed. It's not my fault. Y'all were warned. Do not come here. Do not enter these woods. And y'all are laughing and being like, haha, we're in the woods. And then you die and you can't be mad because you were warned. Literally warned. I want a story like that where the monster is just tired. He's like, I want to be left alone and y'all keep coming. And now this is what we have to do.
I want a similar thing with Medusa. Because Medusa used to be a person. And then Athena cursed her and made her a Gorgon. But I would love if like you follow Medusa past that. Like maybe, you know, the myths are true, but then Medusa, like maybe we don't get to the Perseus part. We just skip Perseus altogether. And then we go to modern day and Medusa's like just chilling and people keep trying to come over there. Maybe it's a military group or something. And they're like, you know how powerful that weapon could be if we get that head of that lady and we're out here or we get her on our side to turn people into stone. And
when and where would it take place?
I'm thinking in the Americas only because I just love the idea.
Because we love our military here.
I just love the idea of the American military getting what's coming to them because they're messing with things they don't understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what would happen.
Yeah, no. There was countless movies of that. Countless movies of where like we're gonna get in and get its source of power, and then look what happened, and nobody's surprised that only like 100 men walked in and only 3 are walking out. The last survivors, they're limping out, of course, together. There is a creature like that in Charro Negro, which is one of the ones I had written down from Pueblo, Mexico. They what they look like is that they're on a black horse and they're usually in Mexican or indigenous garb, and they're just like kind of a dark entity, a black entity. They like punish people who come onto like indigenous land and mess with, you know, crops or things like that or homes. So they're more of a protector. Although if you see them, it's still fucking terrifying because it's this black figure coming up to you on a dark horse. You're going to be naturally scared. But they like punish like basically greedy colonizers and stuff like that. And I think that story would be cool where you get the more of the monster protector than or the Ghoulam protector. And it's still again the whole like don't fuck with things and you'll be fine. And of course, somebody always has to fuck with things, and they're not fine.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Exactly. I think now I'm not sure how well this would be received by the public, and it probably has a 0.0% chance of getting made because it wouldn't get approved by the families and loved ones. But would be in I won't say I would like to see this, but I'd be interested to see if it was made. Maybe instead of a movie, a TV show or like a mini series. Okay, so you know how some of the celebrities who have passed there are myths or urban legends that they're chilling on an island somewhere. We got Tupac. We got, some people say Biggie, Elvis, DB Cooper, Amelia Earhart. We're crossing generations. That's right. Um, just a TV show about where they are, where they're living, and how good they're doing.
It's called Heaven, and that's where they are.
I think that'd be cool. No, like think about it. Somebody crash lands on a private island, and you find all these celebs, and you're like, "Wait, I thought you all were dead," or like, "What happened?" And they're like, "Oh no, we got put here because we influenced the world too much. We had too much of an effect on like things." So like, they're like, "Nope, you got to get out.
Well, the central
People were
character has to be
enjoying
DB
your life too
Cooper.
much."
Then, though, I only say that because that's the easiest way to get into the story. DB Cooper jumps out of that plane. He lands, and he lands on the in this wormhole in the Bermuda Triangle or something. And then afterwards, we go through history where DB's just chilling there in this time vortex where he never ages, he never hungers or anything. It's just a chill place, and other celebrities and other people keep popping up there. But although, of course, the first person he meets there though is Amelia Earhart, and he's like, "You've been here the entire time," and she's like, "Yeah." Mimosa? And he's like, "Hell yeah, Mimosa, give me that shit." And it's just
I would
DB
say
and
that
Amelia
maybe,
going
like,
on adventures.
sounds like a whole nother story there. I think it'd be cool, like a whole island full of celebrities that got like put there because they had too much influence in the world, and like DB Cooper did fall into it because you never found out what happened to him in the end. So like it's actually that he like crash landed on this island with all these celebrities. They're like, "Yeah, we got put here and we would like to leave." He's like, "Well, I jumped out of a plane." "Why did you jump out of a plane?" "I was stealing money." So like you're just stuck here now with us forever because the only people that come are to drop off some other celebrity. I think that would be some weird ass good idea.
They've, I mean, they've,
I love time travel and I love time movies, but people have done them so shitty lately. I don't want to see it anymore. I need people to take a break from it. All right, I love time travel,
it's,
time concepts, things like that, multi dimensions. Absolutely love the theories and everything like that, and I believe a lot of them. Those are the conspiracy theories. I do believe in multi universes and that. But again, I've just been doing it so shitty, and it's like, there are so many like loopholes that y'all are even paying attention to. Like
you're
one or
like,
two is fine. I
let's,
get it because time's iffy, but like, no, no, there's all these loopholes and it's driving me crazy. Sorry, I get into a
oh, I
tangent
was just
about
gonna say,
time.
you're like, let's, I don't care what time period it is. Let's be in the time period and stay in it.
Yes, be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind time travel. It just requires you to actually pay attention. I think a lot of people, because I've tried to write a time travel. I wrote a time travel short, but it's a thing where I'm still rereading it and double checking it for paradoxes and plot holes and things because I'm like, I want to make sure everything lines up and makes sense. Or at the very least, the rules I establish, I stick to them. And instead of it just being, here are the rules. But that messes with my plot in the end. Screw it. No one's going to remember. It's like, no, we will remember because you're setting up how your time travel works.
Yeah, because there's multiple theories. There's the grandfather theory. There's the loop. But the thing is, they can all kind of be. And people try to use like, oh, I'm using the grandfather one where I go back in time, and be my own grandfather. Or there's also the displacement one, which I like the displacement one the best. It's like displacement slash loop because it's the whole Mozart theory. A guy loves Mozart so much, travels back in time to meet Mozart and has his music sheet. Mozart never exists, so he takes that music sheet and becomes Mozart. And then eventually he becomes his future self. And it's that whole theory of the music sheet is displacement. Where did the music get created? Who created it first? Because clearly he brought it from the future, and in the future he learns it from the past. So it's the loop. I want to see the start of that loop where he actually creates it, and then he's like, "Oh, I got a great idea," and he creates his own loop.
Thinking
Because
of time
usually a loop is
travel,
created by somebody by saving somebody's life, but that's also like let people go, let people die. It's fine.
sorry.
Get some counseling.
Thinking of time travel, I was just thinking, I know it's not a myth per se, but it is a book. I would like to see another movie of, which is H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. I'm reading that right now too. because I've never read it.
There was a movie.
I know. I've heard it wasn't good.
I mean, it's not something people revisit often, ironically.
But yeah, but I would love to see, like, out of the Greek myths. I was reading like some of these. I would like to see one about Persephone. But I feel like you would have to change up some things to make it work. Because the simplicity of Persephone gets given to Hades, becomes his wife, then just waits for Hades to like die so she could become queen of the underworld is really short. I don't know how you can milk an hour and a half even out of that. But
they could do it.
No, that's true. You could do it, but I feel like you could make it really a really cool thing, where maybe Persephone's like the one who's been pulling the strings the entire time or something. I don't know. You can make the Queen of the Underworld thing cool, is what I'm saying. I think it would be a fun movie.
I think Persephone being the queen of the ruler of the underworld, from that point on, would be more interesting than like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Getting that spot. Another movie that I think would be cool is Goatman. That was from BuzzFeed Unsolved. They went to, I think it's in New Jersey, but I'm not sure. I should have looked that up. Goatman. He is a goatman that lives on a bridge, and people are like said, "Oh, I get thrown off the bridge and stuff like that, and things happen." And the guys from BuzzFeed Unsolved, or I'm sorry, they are just I forgot their new channel. They're no longer part of BuzzFeed. The episode was associated with BuzzFeed. I forget what they're called now. But it's Shane Medea and Ryan Bergara. They went and they did like the Ouija board on it, and Shane Medea is super funny. I actually want a movie based off that episode, because he's just like, "Fuck you, Goatman," which is something I still say to this day. I'll just yell out, "Fuck you, Goatman,"
just randomly.
And he's like, "This is my bridge now. It's not your bridge, it's my bridge. People will come here and tell tales of me." And Goatman just comes after him like later and comes to his house and be like, "You fucking took my bridge, man. People are going there and start calling your name. We have a problem. I need you to fix that. That is my bridge." Think like a funny comedy where Goatman is just like, "We need to have a talk. If I don't got a bridge, I gotta go back to the underworld or something. So you need to like get me a new bridge or something."
That kind of like sparks my imagination, in that at first I was like, "Ooh, they should make a movie." When you said bridge, they should make a movie about the troll who lives under the Fremont Bridge in Seattle. But then it can expand, and it's a whole movie about things coming to life in Seattle. The Fremont troll, those pigs at Pike Place Market. What else can we have come to life that's in Seattle?
Now you're just pitching blank at blank at the blank, starring one Ben Stiller. But just city edition.
Was like, what? Yeah, exactly. There we go. It worked for a couple movies, so let's do it again.
There were two movies.
I think the troll would be.
I guess technically it could possibly get some traction.
Wasn't there 3 of them?
Just no, there was.
I actually don't know.
You're right. There are 3.
There was 3, right? I've only seen the first one. I'm like, I'm gonna watch the other 2. Never got to it. Never did it. I am terrible at watching sequels to movies sometimes. I think that would be interesting. I think I don't know if there's been any horror movies, myth stories, or anything like that set in Seattle or about Seattle urban legends. I actually don't know anything about Seattle urban legends. I think that would just be a cool thing to learn.
Oh, there's the you should do the I did it on a field trip in like elementary school, like a long time ago. The underground tour, like the spooky underground tour. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that since I moved here 9 years ago. Never got to it, but I should do it, because I love doing the one in Chicago. You get to actually go down into the old city and see they still have some of the burnt, stuff up. I think it'd be cool to see the Seattle one. Yeah. Would love to go down there.
Next time I'm up
anything that has a spooky tour. Yay! we'll have a touristy. We can do a touristy day. I still haven't done a lot of the touristy stuff. People are like, oh yeah, it's all tourist stuff, but there's a reason it's popular. It's fun.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Exactly. It's like a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do the tourist stuff. But it's fun to just experience it like at least once.
yeah, and they like, make it prettier or, do more showmanship for it because it is bringing in revenue for them and everything, and they want more people to come. So it also makes it just a little more fun because you get this, guy on the tour bus doing all these jokes and stuff, and it makes you more engaged. You look like you were going to say something, Jerome.
I'm reading some of these like American folk tales and tall tales. There's one in particular though that there's like tall tales based off of this dude whose name, I shit you not, well, his real name is Albert Lewis Johnson, but his nickname and legendary name is Jigger Johnson.
Oh.
And Jigger Johnson,
better enunciate that.
Mind you, he's white. He's a white dude, okay? So just get that out the way now. Jigger Johnson is not black. But he was a lumberjack, and it says here he's a lumberjack and log driver from northern New England who is known for his numerous off-the-job exploits, such as catching bobcats alive with his bare hands and drunken brawls. And I could just see a movie, a comedy called The Legend, the Adventures and Tales of Jigger Johnson.
We'd have we'd have to be careful with that one. Him and
Tigger.
To
be very careful.
Him and Tigger. We got to be careful to enunciate when we saying those names.
But one that is cool,
and Arnold Schwarzenegger, him too.
One that is cool on this list is one. It's called John the Conqueror, also known as High John the Conqueror. He is an African American folk hero. It says John the Conqueror was an African prince who was sold as a slave in the Americas. Despite his enslavement, his spirit was never broken, and he survived in folklore as a sort of trickster figure because of the tricks he played to evade his masters. It says, Joel Chandler Harris Brer's rabbit of the Uncle Remus story is said to be patterned after High John the Conqueror. So that's interesting. But I think John the Conqueror, like, miniseries or movie could be really interesting as I think it might be a little hard to do. You have to very carefully toe the line because you're dealing with a lot of serious subject matter in regards to slavery and everything. So you don't want it to be too hokey or make it look like they're making a mockery of slavery. But
you want it to be respectful.
Right. But you could do something where you have a character who's like, not that it ever happened. Like, I don't know if it ever happened for a slave in real life, but one who's like refuses to have his spirit broken and consistently gets one over on all the slave masters. Could be interesting to see. Like an alternative than what we're used to, which is almost every slave movie is just about survival and trauma.
Going on that train of thought, there is a Lake Leary. Have you guys heard about Lake Leary in Georgia?
Mm-mm.
So there was once this town, Oscarville, there, and it was mainly black people, and pretty much they got hate crimed, racist mob, killed a bunch of them. So the town was burned down and everything, and eventually, I don't know the exact date or time, or the exact date or the proper story of it, but they broke open a dam and flooded the whole town. So technically the town is underwater, Lake Erie. And there's a bunch of legends there that tell people don't swim in Lake Leary. There's a bunch of very, very pissed off spirits there. And there's been quite a few retells of people like, oh, I felt something pulling me under. Something feels wrong with the water in Lake Leary. After I swam in there, I got really sick for a really long time. There's just countless stories where it's like, it's enough where it's like, don't fucking go in the water. There's enough story. Whether it is something, connected to Oscarville and everything it's gone through, spirit, anything, hell, a sewage tank, there's enough stories in there. Don't go swimming. And I think a story about Lake Leary would be really good. But at the same time, a lot of people are like, don't swim in there because it's disrespectful. And a movie about it may make people go like, I can swim in there. Nothing's real. Next thing you know, you got like this whole busload of people swimming in there. But I think a story about telling about Lake Lyria, because I don't think enough people know about it, would really cool. And just like, again, I mean, and honestly, if there's enough stories from countless people from different areas of the country and stuff being like, yeah, something's not right, meaning something's not right, people. It's simply that. It's not right. This water feels weird. If water feels weird, water shouldn't feel weird, by the way. Nobody should ever say, this water feels weird. Get out. Get out of the water. It's very simple. I feel like
That
people's
seems like it would
survival
be a cool
skills.
idea. It sounds like a
Yeah.
horror movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always think that when I watch horror films and thrillers and stuff like that, I'm like, people aren't that stupid. And then I go on TikTok and I'm like, yes, people
What do you
are
mean?
that
We're
stupid.
talking about the humanity. People will set themselves on fire if it means they could get famous. There are plenty of stupid people in this world.
Eat Tide Pods.
Right?
Right.
Do you see the new older generations getting in on it? They're now drinking Borax,
What?
the laundry
Why?
detergent. It is apparently it has some secret health benefits. I don't know, something about drinking laundry detergent.
Yeah,
feels
it'll
wrong to
send
me.
you. It'll give you eternal life in the afterworld. Like it sure does have health benefits. You'll die.
Yeah, some of the shit you see on like it's TikTok mainly that I'm watching this where people do stuff and it's like honestly TikTok itself pick a creator out of there and you have yourself a new movie or some story or something.
well, this kind of leads me to one of mine. We need a movie about that mother is not real. That mother is not real.
Yes. Who did she see? What did she see? Because it never shows what she
I'm
saw.
telling you right now.
They should get somebody with her voice too, because it was great. That voice was clear and pronounced. She didn't slur her words. She was like, I know what I see.
And then they said that she disappeared after, like she wasn't seen after she left that flight or something.
Easy.
Which is even creepier. That's also
Yeah.
some like that, that one movie stuff. So if somebody did that on a plane, I'm getting off. I would absolutely get off that plane and be like, I'll catch the next flight or something.
That's the
'Cause
thing.
that is some
It's
crap.
It's a thing where like when you get on that flight, you don't want to leave your plane. But then there's like when you see people freaking out about something, it really does play in your mind. It's like this ticket was expensive, but I don't know. They
That's
look
true, too.
pretty concerned, and I don't want to die in this metal tube with all these people like at the same
Hell,
time.
when I drank that Mountain Dew hot Cheeto, fucking awful. Terrible. I kept coughing. It kept burning me. But I finished the glass because I was like, I'm not going to waste it. I pay for this. I drove to the gas station to get this. There's multiple times you just hear me coughing and Jerome just turns around or just like finally looks up at me. He's like, stop drinking it. I wasn't going to waste the money. But I get what you mean. Like, plane tickets are expensive. I don't know. If somebody's like freaking out because, they're just entitled or something like that, or they're racist, I'll stay in my flight. I'll stay on my flight. But if the person's yelling, that motherfucker's not real, I'm like, what do you see though? Because that's like some.
But what if you
urban
can't
legend shit
see it?
going on.
What if you look back and they're like to you, there's nothing there, but to them, they see it.
That's worse. What did they see that I can't? What can they see that I can't see? That's terrifying to me. Cheddar does that, where he likes to sit at the corner of my bed sometime and just stare at the corner of the ceiling, and that freaks me out all the time. I was like, what do you see? What's there? It better be a bug. But at the same time, I'm like, don't be a bug, because that's right above my bed.
Or if Gibson barks at something, but nothing is there. He does it rarely, but that's why it's so freaky when he does do it. It's like
They see the spirits, man. They see the ghost.
mm.
That ghost is just like, shoot, I'm here to hunt. Go away.
Yeah, so I'm like 50-50 where like, I'm going to consider getting off. Depends on how much I guess I paid for the plane ticket. But I think that would be really, I think that would be a good movie. And yeah, you're right. She did disappear afterwards. Or like nobody could find her afterwards.
Has she been?
Nobody could
That
find
was
her.
that was like a month ago. Has she been found since?
No, because usually
What do
people
I?
on the internet are pretty good. Like I found her location, her job, her everything.
Yeah.
I would love, thinking of haunting, I would love a movie in which it's a ghost movie, but instead of it being a possession movie, the demon just hangs out. They're just, they're just there.
Yeah, flip it on its head.
Yeah, like or how about it's like the demon gets done doing the possession, goes home or whatever, or goes to their next victim, but the priest follows them. It's just haunting them. They're like, "Leave me alone!" Like, go back to where you came. This is the 5th house. I'm sick and tired of you following me. Leave me alone. I just want to haunt in peace. God damn it.
I was like, for a second, I was like, isn't there an anime like that where the demon spirits just kind of like hanging out while the kid's doing evil? Can we say animes? Was that on the list of things we can't talk about?
I think that counts.
Because it's like voiceover.
But I
Yeah,
know which one you're
technically-
talking about. There is
And-
one
and
where
writing.
yes, the like
where Netflix even did a terrible,
Yes, I know
live
which anime
anime,
you're talking about.
yeah, where that one was, he was just chill. He's like, what you doing next? Who we murdering?
But that's because he was bored. He was excited. He was just like, I'm here to just see what happens.
He's like, what we doing? Just eating
I mean,
apples, chilling out.
In my head, I just imagine this demon that's trying to get to work. They're just their job is just to haunt people. And there's just a priest that just keeps making it difficult. Like almost like a ticket cop or something who's just parking enforcement, just out here, just making the demon's life just mildly inconvenient.
There's
That-
actually a story I've been working on, like, kind of recently, where somebody is friends with, like, the Grim Reaper. And, like, they just hang out. And she's like, what do you do? What are you doing? He's like, I have to reap this soul and this soul. They're kind of important. Like, he has, like, reapers who do collect souls. He's like, but I have to go collect the important ones. And anytime there's, like, a mass death, I have to deal with that. He's like, I have to go do this. Like, really? Yeah. Should be done by 5, but it depends on if the spirits will just come with me. They start to argue. He's like, I'm going to leave their ass. I was like, just a silly
I like
death.
that. I like that idea, like flipping something on its head, where it's not the traditional way you would tell the monster or mythical creature story. That's why I would have a movie about Bigfoot that would be a coming of age story, where it's just like he's growing up, he's misunderstood. People are trying to find him.
He's got the
And then
emo
he's-
like hair over his thing, just flips his hair
yeah.
constantly.
And then he just goes out into the world, and people are like, "Oh, you're real. Okay, well, what now? Okay, I guess you can like live alongside us, I guess." But he's still misunderstood.
Are you pitching like how people they reported like there's evidence of aliens, and the whole world was like, okay, and
Like, there's so much other stuff going on. You think aliens? We care about aliens right now?
Well, also, it's like for us, like I'm sure the response was 70% of us already knew the aliens existed anyway. So we were just waiting for them to show up. Realistically,
I think there is a theme for all the like movies and things and shows we have pitched about, myths, urban legends, monsters, creatures like that. It's that they're fucking fed up with us. They just want to do what they want to do and be like, all right, I have this priest constantly trying to exorcise me. Like, oh, look, I'm supposed to be working. I have a quota to meet. And then, like, I have death being like, I'm tired, dude. Like, just come with me to the other side. We don't bargain. We just go. Come on. We got to go. And, like, even with, like, the Bigfoot story, it's like, I just want to go about my day. Why
I
can't
just
I
want to
just
get my
do this?
eggs from the grocery store.
Yeah. I'm tired of having to hunt everything. I want to go to the farmer's market on Sunday with you guys, get some stuff, and then just go back to my little cave. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's the...
There's a sketch. I can't say the characters because it's a sketch based off of a movie because it's from a show that is all about referencing movies. But it's where there's a creature that has an arm gets chopped off by a character. That character goes to the gas station to just get gas. And that same creature pulls up to the next pump, but they're having such a hard time because now they only have one arm, so they can't. They have to like try to get the gas tank with one arm, like, or get the pump with one arm. They have to try and get their wallet out with one arm, so they're holding the wallet using their teeth to get the card out. Then they drop the card, and it's like stuck in between the the gas pump and like the little slot, and they're just trying to reach for it, but they only have one arm, so they can only that's the only way they can grab it, and all that only to realize the pump is on the opposite side of the car. So now they got to get back in the car. They've already paid for the gas, everything. And they've had to swipe like 6 times because it wouldn't read the card right. And now they have to drive back around. And the second they get it back in the car, try to pull around to the to get the pump on the right side, someone swoops in and grabs it real quick. And they're just like, So then they're just like, man, screw it. And they try and leave, and as they're leaving, they see that character that took their arm from them, and it's just the most like, you did this to me face.
See, it's all about like basically things just being done with us, which is like absolutely fair. Like, just I want to do my little haunting, like a ghost being like, I just need to haunt you guys because that's like what I do. Can you stop trying to get these people? Like, I would leave you alone more if you stop bringing in like mediums to try to talk to me. Like, we could just chill out. I can haunt in the attic. We can be chill, but stop trying to bring in these people. You bring in one more fucking Ouija board into the house, I'm setting it all on fire. Those candles you leave, I'm tipping one over. I'm done.
I'm on the clock right now. I'm not going to meet my quota for the end of the day if you don't just let me haunt you right now, okay? So just let me haunt you. We can both go on about our business and then be done.
See, I feel like most humans would just be like, but are you going to take my soul? Well, of course I'm going to take your soul. That's like the whole point. I'm not just going to leave you here. It's like, okay, then I'm going to call a priest. No, wait, listen. You don't even like living anyway. I mean, I see what you do all day, all right? All you do is you go to work, you come home, you sit down, eat a whole tub of ice cream while watching whatever reality show you've seen 1,000 times. You have no life, all right? I'm doing you a favor, if anything. All right?
Yeah,
you deserve to go to hell anyway for that outfit. Look at what you're wearing right now. Socks and sandals. The devil's waiting for you, okay?
I've seen your Google search history. You're going there regardless, man. I think that would, be a lot of fun. Just a ghost just fucking don't. Like, you all play, like, I understand you're depressed. I get it. I'm dead. I understand depression, all right? But you don't need to blast your music at 2 a.m. I'm trying to do my haunting, but you can't hear anything. You can't hear the cabinets opening and closing because you're blasting music at 2 in the end. Go to bed so I can wake you up and scare you, all right? I can't do much during the day. You have to go to bed so I can just do my scares, and then I can rest during the day. You're messing up my sleep schedule.
This could honestly be like a sketch. Like,
I love the idea of a neighbor calling,
the ghost roasting.
Because instead of calling the police, they call a demon to come and mess with their neighbor for a noise complaint. Like, listen, he's doing it again. He's playing Metallica at full volume. I need you to go over there and haunt his ass. It's like, all right, Demons Anonymous has got you. All right, hold on, wait, real quick. Let me get my tools.
I mean, I've seen that some videos on TikTok where the neighbors are just awful. Be like, cops aren't doing anything. I'm just going to call in a demon or a spirit. Be like, can you haunt them, get them out, or like make them so they'll never touch my yard again? They spray my yard one more time with their water, we're going to have problems. My flowers aren't supposed to get that much water.
I feel like then it can start getting very like petty. It's just like the tree grew over the property line. Calling the demon. What? You didn't even ask me to remove the tree yet. Nope, calling the demon.
You should know better.
It's too late. So, audience, if you want to like go over to our Kickstarter and support our demon movie, go on over there and do that.
Yeah.
Demons Anonymous.
That's right, Demons Anonymous.
That's all of my.
The only one I had left, and this is more a stereotypical one, but it's because we don't see this creature enough. I feel like I want a werewolf movie, like another werewolf movie, but like a good one.
What are you talking about? There are plenty of movies, and there was a show. Multiple shows.
And we just had an episode of a show on a streaming service.
But those aren't the same. They do all the same stuff. I'm talking about, I want a new one, play on some different new ideas with it, with the werewolf. All right. We've gotten 1,000 different vampire
What about
things.
one about Werewolf the Game?
But somebody actually is a werewolf. Is that what you're getting at?
Oh, yeah.
I've never played werewolf. I don't know. Werewolves are simple, I feel like, because they turn into a wolf on the full moon, and then they hunt and be wolves, and then they're done. I don't know. I don't know much about werewolves, I think.
I would love the idea of maybe like a rom-com or something with a werewolf, where it's like this girl who's down on her luck, just can't seem to get it right with love, and then she meets Mr. Right, and he's everything she's ever dreamed of. The only catch, he's a werewolf. And now she has to deal with the inconvenience of dealing with the fact that her man is often like digging holes in the yard, brings back like dead creatures often after a night of werewolfery, or lycanthropy rather.
You just described Michael Jackson's Thriller.
No. In that she dies. It's like
she doesn't die.
Yeah, she does, because that's the end. Remember, he turns his head and he's got the werewolf eyes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he ate her ass that night.
That was not on camera.
No, it was on camera.
He's actually a creature. No, he does the eye thing. But
the part where she dies is not on camera.
Well, regardless, that's what happened. Okay, that's what happened. That's my headcanon.
That's where your mind went.
She got ate.
Just left.
Either that, or she's been or this is her hallucination after getting eaten by zombies. Either way, she's dead. No, this is one where the relationship works out, and she's constantly like, she just has to deal. You know what I mean? She's just like, and then the conflict, because every rom-com has the bottom second act conflict before the third act, or rather the third act conflict, so that then they can have a fight for no reason and then get back together at the end. And in this one, it would just be that he'd like, I don't know, eat her father or something. And then she'd be like, you ate my dad.
I think like a werewolf movie, but with different like wears. Like there's a were-cat, were-tiger, and things like that. Like they meet up, is like, you're a werewolf? You're a were-tiger? What the fuck?
Ooh, that would actually be funny if it's like, it's a were, but they're like a were creature that's lame. Like a were-coca.
Yes.
Were-coca. They drop their babies. That's all they
squirrel.
Do.
I still like to think they were-squirrel. Were-sloth.
Were-sloth.
Just hang out in trees. I have to go find a tree before the moon comes.
I have to find a tree.
I have to find a tree before the moon comes.
Why can't you just hang in your house?
Well, no, you have to do sloth stuff during. I don't know what sloths really do, but there's a reason they're up in the tree. Actually, a lot of the times they're up in the trees is to avoid predators from them getting eaten. But like, you go to the environment, you go do sloth stuff. I don't know what they do. They hang out with other sloths and eat.
I just imagine a were-sloth. If it is, the character's name is Jeremy, because I feel like a Jeremy would be a were-sloth.
I can see it.
Oddly enough, yeah. I see that. It's fitting.
Yeah. Just Jeremy the Were-Sloth. That's there. See, it writes itself. There we go. Jeremy the Were-Sloth, living his life, just out here hanging on trees and stuff, just trying to make it out here. You know what I mean?
What's the name of the movie called?
Hanging Around.
No, not of just the sloth. Like the people who turn into the various were creatures.
Oh, I see. Wherefolk.
Where are you at?
Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at?
Yeah, the werefolk. The were people.
Like, where are the were people hanging out?
They just get picked up. That'd be funny if it's just the were people meet up. It's like almost like an Alcoholics Anonymous type group. It's like, what's your name? Hi. I'm David. Hi, David. And I turn into a pig. I'm a were-pig.
That's the opening. That's the cold opening of the movie. That's the opening sequence of the movie.
Totally. Just like my name's Jeremy, and I'm a were-sloth. And it's just and then there's the werewolf is easily the coolest guy or girl in the group. They're the cool person, and that's like the love interest. And he's like, they're so cool. They turn into a wolf. That's the coolest thing ever. All I do is hang around in trees. I'm useless. I don't do anything.
So does everybody on Earth in this universe turn into an animal at night? Or is it just
I think it's a select group of people, like those who have been bitten, which leads to the question, who the hell bit Jeremy to make him a weresloth?
A sloth.
Well, Jeremy sounds like he would be white, so they're the type of people who go into those like habitats and stuff and be like, "Look, it loves me," and sticks out its hand towards these creatures that should never have been pet or touched because they are fucking wild animals. Be like, "Look, he's touching me," and the sloth bites him
and gets devoured. He's like, ah! Then that's the flashback, is he gets mauled by a sloth. The least likely thing to happen when dealing with sloths. He's just in the hospital bandaged up. They're just like, you said a sloth did this to you? Yeah, we're just gonna write koala bear just to save your pride a little bit, just so that way like nobody.
Even like a lemur is more respectable.
Yeah,
good job. Lemur's more respectable.
We're gonna say panda bear. We're gonna say you got mauled by a panda. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
How bad is the sloth fucking up this man that he can say panda bear? Sloth is, deranged.
Well, it's a weresloth. It's very deadly. It's dangerous.
Is it though? Anyway.
Well, this has been a fun discussion of mythological creatures and lore that does exist and some that don't exist that we just made movies for.
I feel like we actually have some good ideas, though. So, Hollywood, if you're listening and decide once this strike is over, decide that you want to, take some of these ideas, you better pay and credit us, all right?
That's right. Because you heard it here first. Remember, the first ones to die is the first one to pitch hanging around, or as a working title, or second working title, where are you at? I feel like is this like a MTV show or something, or like a Netflix streaming show?
It could be like an animated show, like an adult animated show.
Definitely.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. More Netflix. Netflix has become what MTV was with their movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Amazon Prime is kind of pushing the envelope now with like their cartoons.
They recently came out with a movie, and I wish I could talk about it. It's basically fan fiction. They went onto one of those websites with all the fan fiction, pulled it out, and was like, we're making it. And the fucked up part is it's actually, like, I enjoyed it. I had fun when watching it. It's a rom-com, so it was like supposed to be stupid too. So it was like, this is actually decently made for a fan fiction you got going on here. So I give respect to Amazon or Prime for doing that. But yeah, most of their movies have been questionable when it comes to like their animation, especially. And it's like, what company you working with? What is this? What's going on here? Why are we doing this?
But audience, comment below. Tell us what myths and monsters you would like to see in a movie, whether they exist or not. Maybe you can make one up if you can't think of any that are from pre-existing lore of some kind. Comment below. Tell us what you think, and we'd love to hear from you. But before we go, socials. Jonathan, go.
Yes, you can find me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter. Sorry, X, Instagram, wherever you please. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Don't worry, it'll be shut down in give it 3 months.
Okay, then follow me on Threads, Instagram, wherever you please, at Jonathan Keys. You can follow us everywhere at The First Ones to Die on all your favorite social platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite audio platform, please, I feel like I'm saying please a lot. I'm not begging, just if you want to, please. Please give us 5 stars and a review. That would help us out immensely. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me at Alex and Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok, as well as the podcast TikTok, where I post clips of the episode, things we may be doing, things we have done, and just little things I'm doing in my day-to-day life because I get really bored. You can also find. Oh yeah, no, I updated all anyway. I updated the graphic. Anyway, but other than that, I'm not really anywhere. I like to hide from places. But where can we find you, Jerome?
You can find me at Jerome on Instagram, and also, check out definitely the YouTube channel for extra content that you can't get on any of the audio streaming platforms that you listen to the podcast on, including but not limited to book reviews, mini reviews, gaming content, and of course, video versions of all the podcasts, so you can see our lovely faces, and sometimes if we have visuals, so you can see what we're all looking at. Also, I'm thinking, in preparation with Mortal Kombat coming out soon. Gonna probably be using that Twitch channel a lot more, and we'll probably maybe finish Stray someday. So going over to the First Ones to Die plays on Twitch as well. That's our Twitch channel where you can check out some gaming stuff there as well. Eventually some of those videos will be making their way to YouTube, but those will be cut down versions. If you want to be there live and comment with us and chat with us and all that stuff, be on the lookout on the Instagram page for when we are possibly streaming and stuff like that. So just to let you know.
All fairness, you have the busy life, not me.
That's true. I have it has been mostly my fault.
But until our next show, have a good evening, good morning, good day, whenever you're listening to this. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Go on over to the YouTube channel at The First Ones to Die to see all the fun stuff we got going on here, like mini reviews, book reviews, gaming videos, vlogs, all types of stuff.
Please follow us at The First Ones to Die everywhere. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.